Hi, I thought I would show you how I'm fitting a TV bracket in an Elddis Affinity 554. This is a 2016 model. I assume that other models from say 2015 up to 2018 would be similar, but that's up for you to check. Of course, I'll show you what I've done in a 2016. I bought a Duronic multi-arm TV bracket. It's quite a small but steel bracket. It was about £12 I think off Amazon. And when I was looking for inspiration on YouTube and generally on the internet to find some tips and tricks how to install it in an Affinity, I couldn't find anything specific, so I thought, well, I'll show you what I did in the Affinity 554. In the bedroom area in the Affinity, we have points on this bulkhead for television, aerial, satellite, 12 volt connection, mains connection, that's the light switch above it. And I've already got as far as marking out and drilling holes in this bulkhead. What I was prepared to do was put some pieces of plywood behind this bulkhead in case it was flimsy. But in actual fact, when I came to taking apart this part of the caravan, I found that the bulkhead is quite strong, and then you can see there's two spars that have been put in. That just takes a little infill piece which I've taken out, which the partition curtain normally screws to. So just so you can see, this is the partition curtain, and you can see the plastic holder at the back of the curtain. That is the piece which is screwed to this piece of plywood, and that's the infill piece that I've taken out of that gap, as I showed you before. And when you've taken that all out, you can see in there, you can see the wiring and the aerial wires, etc. And I'm using this right hand batten here as part of the security to put bolts through for the TV bracket, and I'm sure that's going to be well strong enough to hold a 16-inch telly to the wall. And I say this bulkhead is actually quite strong itself. When the infill piece is screwed back in, then it gets its strength as well from this piece, which is the side of the kitchen units, as you can see, which again is an extremely strong bulkhead. It forms the bulkhead, the kitchen, the cooker at the bottom, etc. So this whole double area is quite strong when the infill's back in, and it's going to be plenty strong enough to hold a TV bracket. So these are the bits and pieces I'm using. There's the television I'm going to use. There's the bracket, as I said. It's a Duronic bracket. It hinges at every point through 180 degrees, so that's going to be able to, as I said before, show the television into the lounge area by actually swiveling it all the way round through 180 degrees and pointing towards the front of the caravan, as well as the normal position for us to watch in the bedroom area. So just an ordinary cordless screwdriver, and these are the nuts and bolts that I'm going to use. It's fairly typical from a DIY place, and some washers that I'm going to use extra, just to stop the nut from pulling through what could be softish wood. Obviously the construction of the caravan is made of as light wood as possible to keep the weights down. So I've just screwed the bracket through the holes I drilled. I've put a washer in behind those bolt heads as well, just for a little bit of extra protection. And if you have a look in the back here, you'll see I've used two washers, a bigger one virtually the same width as the actual batten, and then a smaller one and the nut, and with 3 bolts going through that batten attached to that bulkhead. That bracket is going nowhere. I'll just finish off now and just screw the telly to the bracket and see what it looks like. One of the features I was looking for was in the bracket was to be able to take the television off the bracket quite easily for when you're moving, because I don't really want what is probably, I don't know, 3, 4, even 5 kilos of television possibly wavering around on a bracket when you're doing 50, 60 miles an hour up the motorway. So I was hoping with this bracket that it would be simple to just take out a bolt and take the bracket off with the television without having to take all the Visa screws out of the back of the television, which is a little bit of a fiddly job. And indeed it is easy. You get with the bracket the Allen key, which is to tighten these various points upon the bracket for the amount of tightness you want on the turns, and you can simply take this bolt out. When you've taken this out, the television is easily lifted off the pin, as you'll see. So the television can be stowed safely away, and the bracket can be pushed back out of the way. So I found that quite a good feature with this TV bracket. So that's the job nearly complete. As I hope you can see, that's a nice, neat installation. The television goes way back out of the way. There's no chance of banging heads on it as you go by. It actually tucks above the curtain rail and underneath the rest of the caravan there. I probably will actually shorten the mains cable so that that's a little bit neat and tidier. But that's the view from the bedroom area. And you can swivel it all the way around, pull it forward and round. And it's fully visible from the lounge area. I hope that's of interest and helpful to somebody. As I said at the beginning of the video, I couldn't find anything specifically for the Affinity 554, and I thought, well, I might as well make a video as we go through fitting it. I'm quite pleased with that. That's nice and neat. Thank you very much for watching.